Yes, hello there chappies. I'm gonna do a quick video about something else I bought, a replacement cover for my phone. So just quick warning about my video, this is not going to be 2 minutes, it never is, so if you don't like long videos, don't watch it. This is, if you know how I do videos, then it'll be just more of the usual thing, just lots of babbling, lots of opinion. Okay. So, as you know, I have the Microsoft Lumia 950XL, which replaces my 920 and my 800 before that, totaling, what, nearly 5 years worth of phones, I think? 4 to 5, somewhere. When I bought this, I also ordered a replacement back. So as if you've been following the whole announcement and release of these phones, you know that Microsoft sort of promoted the idea of replacement backs to, reskin the phone, because, a lot of bloggers think these are boring looking phones. I don't think it's boring looking. I actually really like the look of this one, the 950 especially, the XL. Not so much the 950. I prefer the XL because of the treatment here around the camera. It's both practical because it lets you clean it very easily. You have that nice big piece of glass. And it looks sort of cooler. It's a bit like the sort of like the 1020 a little bit. Quite nice. And I like this smooth matte sort of polycarbonate. The corners, I think it's all just right. So very nice. I like that style. Pretty good. However, I purchased a replacement back on the same day, basically for protection, because I wasn't going to use a case, like the old phones had here. These sort of tight-fitting, plasticky, rubbery sort of cases. The original Nokia ones were always excellent because they fit the device really, really tightly and perfectly, and always almost were as if you didn't even have a case. Those are nice, but they don't do that for these. Instead, it's either this or one of those ugly big silicone stretchy things or whatever, maybe a leather thing, or these Mozo backs. And so I bought the Mozo back the same day. It took ages to arrive, just arrived today, which was sadly 2 days too late because I've dinged my phone. And it fell out of my van, hit the ground, just from, whatever waist height, and got dinged right there. It doesn't look as bad now, but it looked worse because it was sort of, the chips sort of get sort of white surrounding where the plastic is stressed, but that sort of vanished over the course of the day. And I also had a ding there, and somewhere over here as well. 3 corners, plus the front edge up here, funnily enough. And I was very worried about this front edge, more than anything, because of this kind of edge-to-edge glass that it has. But once I nicked it there, I thought, oh, gosh, that's going to be a problem. Then I looked very closely, and I'm surprised I didn't notice this before, but it hasn't actually got edge-to-edge glass. It actually does have a plastic bezel all the way around it. It looks like it's edge-to-edge glass, like the old iPhone 4 and 5, but it's not. So you can actually get a bit of a ding here on the edge, and it goes into the plastic, doesn't hit the glass. So that's pretty good. That's not so bad. Don't mind that. However, this case is now a bit buggered. It's a shame, because I wanted the Mozo case to get buggered and want to keep this one nice. I'm sure these will come up eventually on eBay, quite cheap, but for now it's a bit rough. At some point you always put a mark on your phone, and that's the, I'll put one on the glass too, and that'll make me sad. However, let's look at the new case. So I bought this one. I bought it because I am not a hipster. I do not have a beard, and therefore the faux vintage brown leather one with stitching around it that looks like someone's made it summer camp wallet is not for me. The black with this surround was the nearest to my tastes. I think this is the nearest to me. This actually suits me best. That's my style. This is sort of semi. I thought it looked nice though. And I quite like, again, the treatment of the camera surround there. This fake sort of metal edge is nice. And overall it looks pretty good. Now, of course, I'm sure you people will all know that they have the special thing about the backs for this phone is that they have to have the NFC connection. and the wireless charging connection in order to provide the full functionality of what these phones do. Just on first glance here, the buttons, they look slightly different. They're obviously the same size and shape and all that. These have slightly different finish. These look sort of sharper and flatter, the sharper edges. These are very slightly less sharp. These have a much more obvious difference in height, where the middle one, the power button, is lower into the case than the two volume buttons. This one has that slightly less. And otherwise much the same. So let's have a look at this. Now, this is supposed to be leather, of course. Now, I'm not sure exactly how that works out, but I used to restore old cameras, and I recovered some big old field cameras with leather. And I researched, and I found kangaroo leather at the time was the best I could find. It was the thinnest. But even so, you wouldn't have been able to drill 20 or 30 tiny little holes in it like this has in the leather and expect it to maintain any kind of structure. If you drilled all those tiny little holes next to each other, it's soft. The leather, even if it's very, very thin, is still soft, and it would just turn into a mushy area like that. So this is a bit weird. Either it's very, very, very thin, or it's pressed and embossed and sort of made solid with some kind of resin or adhesive or something that sets it, that makes it solid, so that it's really just a solid, thin sheet. It's quite possible even this grain is embossed on it. I'm not sure that that's authentic, because I don't know what animal would have that skin. It's so perfect and finely wrinkled. I don't know, it's a bit odd. So this is probably all made in a machine. And then it's stuck on this plastic frame that has this metal stuff vaporized onto it somehow. Don't know how, but that's on there just to give it a sort of a more premium look. And that's about the end of that. It's got... let's get it on the phone. So now, to get your old one off, don't do it like some of the bloggers do, where they try and split this here like that and get into a mess. Put your thumb on the phone, and then when you pull it off, it sort of comes away easily. You're sort of going like that a little bit. Let's put this one on. I notice dust gathers around the, there's a little bit of a, is it rubbery? Yeah, it is. There's a little bit of a rubbery seal just around the, that lens bezel thing, or the, that glass. Okay, put the new one on. Okay, looking good. Okay, now, well, that's funny. Some people complain that their phones creak, that the plastic sort of creaks. Mine did not. I've given it plenty of good, twists and turns. It never creaked. Now it creaks a little bit. Okay, there. Yeah, I'm sure that is pretty simple. It's probably just... yeah, it'll be like this vertical edge here. Some of these little vertical edges where they touch the plastic. So I'm pretty sure I'll be able to use a bit of finger grease and get that smooth so it doesn't creak. But it's not a biggie. Doesn't worry me. I mean, it feels solid. It feels good otherwise. Obviously, it's going to feel the same in the hand, which it does. I think it feels better on the back because this is so smooth, it's sort of matte smooth, that it really feels like it's going to slip out of your hand all the time. It really does. Even on the sides, it's that same super smooth, dry kind of feel. This is smoother, so a bit more glossy, so it's actually stickier on the sides. And of course, that's different again. That actually feels a bit like leather or leatherette. something like that. So the phone actually feels a little bit better in the hand, a little bit more solid, like you're not going to quite... Yeah, that's the thing, because often you're holding the hand, resting it there, because my hands are not that big, and if this phone is really hard to hold, I find. And so this gives me a little bit more, little tiny bit of grip like that. This one here gives me none. It just slides. It's just too slick and smooth there. This one has a little bit of grip on it, which is nice. So yeah, feels good. Okay, the buttons are a lot harder to press. Well, harder. It's either they're harder or they don't quite go as far or something, but that's definitely different. Yeah, the volume too, I'm having to press them harder. Don't know, maybe because it's a new case so the buttons don't stick out quite as far, but I'm having to press quite hard. If I put my nail in, that's fine. But you see, when you press down on this surface, the bit around the switch is taking a lot of your pressure from your thumb, from your skin. That's taking all the pressure. You're pressing on that, on the case. And there's only a little bit in the middle that actually is the switch. And if that's hard, you've got quite a bit of pressure on the outside to get it, the middle to press. So yeah, those are stiffer than the original case. Camera button. I thought I had that turned on so it would... There we go. Yep, works. Good. Would I buy it? Would I recommend buying this? Well, why not? You know, you've just spent quite a bit of money on this. If you don't like that case, well, that's a nice case. I'll get the hipster version as well. There's also a red one. I think red and gold. I mean, red and gold. Come on. Red and gold. So, yeah, you can get that as well. And they have ones with flip fronts, you know, leather sort of a little flip case, which you could use as well. Those are interesting, but I thought this was the most interesting. So I'm quite happy with that. I think that's quite good. Yeah, pretty good. Looks like a good case to me. Not cheap in terms of, you know, they aren't that cheap because they have the wireless and all that stuff in the back. I'm sure they're made very, very cheaply in China, but that this person in Helsinki probably takes a heck of a big cut for owning them, owning the company. Protects your device from bumps and scratches. Premium finish with non-conductive vacuum metal coated polycarbonate. Well, there you go. Genuine cow leather. There it is, cow leather. Well, that is not... That's so thin that it's shaved off or something. They've really... By shaved, I mean the inside would be scraped, something to make it super, super thin. Because that's really thin. Good stuff. Yep. Yep, recommended. I like that. So just there it is once more for you to have a look at. Would it be nice? This is what would have been nice. You know, I'm more of a Microsoft fanboy than I am a Mozo fanboy. This now looks like a Mozo phone. What the hell's a Mozo phone? That's not anything. Would have been nice if they'd put something like that in there. I would rather have had the Microsoft logo. Even the Zeiss on it, Microsoft and Zeiss, that would have been nice. Certainly nicer than this thing down here, the Mozo. Yeah, it would have been nice to have some actual factory branding on that back if they could have done it. Would have been cool. All right, that's about the end of that. That's all I can say. So we'll put it there like that and say thank you for watching. And catch you again later. Bye-bye.